All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with your host, Tone Vays. Coming to you live as the markets are open on this Wednesday, October 14th. Whoa, what is that? All right. Sorry about that. Okay. And markets are open. The stock market is open. The stock market is rallying. And now, no surprise, Bitcoin is rallying alongside it. Let's go straight to the charts. There are no announcements whatsoever, which is good. All right, here's the monthly chart. We are halfway through the month, so it's not a bad idea to look at, see where we are on a monthly scale. Let's look at the basic oscillators. The RSI is bullish. To me, this is bullish. It has made a higher low. It has not yet made a higher high. However, if the RSI crosses above this area, that becomes pretty bullish to me, as it would continue go into overbought land. So that's what I am looking at from the monthly RSI. So look at the monthly MACD. The monthly MACD is also bullish. We had a little bit of a drop. You can see that the MACD line is at a new high. And so is the signal line. So we are looking good. And finally, we have the stochastic. Now, the stochastic is running into overbought territory, but it can stay there for quite a while. So everything is looking pretty good. Look, it stayed there all of 2017, and market didn't top until the end of 2017. So going into that area, we got into that overbought area on the stochastic back in November 2016. It spent a year in there. And that was the big one. I mean, this was a 20x rise or more during that time. So look at the price. We are very, very close to having the second highest close ever. Remember, the highest monthly close we ever had was just under 14,000. And the second highest close we ever had was just 2 months ago when we closed at 11,660. And we're just a few $100 away. So if we close at a brand new top for the year on a monthly scale, that's very bullish, pushing the new all-time high. Weekly chart. So I guess we just pulled back a little bit, because when I looked at the markets this morning, we were dropping. Well, last night when I looked at the markets, we were rallying off the $1,300 low. I looked at it this morning, we were rallying. I looked at it this morning, we were dropping again. Then we were rallying early on in the stock market, and now we're dropping again. So even like 30 minutes ago, this was significantly higher, or like a few hours ago. So here's our line in the sand for the weekly chart. It's around 11,500. So closing the week above 11,500 makes me bullish. And closing the week below 11,500 keeps me neutral. But I am leaning bullish here. Not a bullish looking candle, but we still have 3 to 4 days to go on the weekly chart. We are above the moving average. We broke out above prior little swing high, but this is the big one. If we can break above 11,200, I become a huge bull across all time frames. Even right now, the weekly time frame is generally bullish. We are above all 3 moving averages, and all 3 moving averages are rising. There's really very little bearishness in the weekly chart, almost zero. If we look at the oscillators, the RSI is neutral, leaning bullish. The MACD is flipping over to the bullish territory, even though we just spent a couple of weeks in the bearish land. And the CMF is also bullish. There's very little bearishness here on the weekly chart. If we look at the details of the MRI, and those that have access to this will get the video to this, or will have access to the video to this, hopefully by this weekend. If not, definitely sometime next week. We still have plenty of room. The counts are just getting started. So there's plenty of room to go on the MRI. So there's not much to worry about. I don't have my stars turned on. But if I did have my stars turned on, close first candle. There it is. According to the weekly chart, the moment this candle started trading above the prior candle's high, we created a bullish trend, but for a potential trend. Same thing happened here. The moment this candle started trading above the prior candle, the green star showing up, telling you that there is a potential bullish trade on the table. This trade certainly worked out. Never made it to an MRI top, but certainly a profitable trade. A buy at 10,200 and say 50 certainly gotten you all the way to 12,500. That's a pretty big move in a matter of a few weeks. Same thing here. The star would have shown up at 10,950 or so, around that area. Okay, that's the weekly chart. Let's go to the daily chart. The daily chart hit an MRI top. And I warned you guys last time we did this video. I didn't do a video yesterday, but I did a video the day before. And when I did that video, we were not trading very high. And I remember exactly what I said. I said there was a high probability of a top within the next 48 hours, and that top being closer to 12,000 than it was at the time. And at the time, we were probably hanging out around here, around 11.3, 11.2. I don't know what price it was when I was doing the video. And that's exactly what happened. We pushed. I thought we could push a little bit more into the next day, but it topped the same day as my video. We topped at 11,750 area. That's halfway towards that $12,000 mark. And I'm not surprised that we have topped for the short term on the daily chart. So now that we have the samurai top, what am I looking for? Just as I said in the video 2 days ago, I am looking for a 1 to 4 candle correction and then probably more upside. So right now we are in the middle of a 1 to 4 candle correction. We can treat yesterday's candle as the first candle of set correction. It even started earlier that night. And right now we are technically in the second candle of correction. You can see how we are looking at a lower daily close. If the market was to close today for the day, we are not looking at a lower swing low. I'm assuming that this swing low took place before this, this swing low took place before the swing high. Well, we can see that on a 4-hour chart, maybe. I have the 4-hour chart here, and here is that high, and here is that swing low to $11,300 area. It's probably where that candle was. Yep, 11,300. So we did fall approximately 450 points, or at least 400 points. Was that enough of a correction on our 1 to 4 candle correction off the MRI top? And the answer is I don't know. I don't know if it was enough. But we are in the realm of a 1 to 4 candle correction, and now we wait. The daily chart for me is in a complete no trade zone. There are 2 areas of where I would be interested in taking on a trade. I would not short this 1 to 4 candle correction. I believe the market overall, the market picture is bullish. The weekly picture is bullish. The daily picture is bullish. The fundamental picture is bullish as all the companies are getting interested in Bitcoin. All of that to me is bullish. So I would not take the short trade. In fact, you should probably never short Bitcoin, but there are instances where it makes sense. But I would be looking to buy the dip or buy the breakout. But I don't know which one it's going to be. So if I am to buy the dip, where would a perfect dip be? Well, the perfect dip would be around this blue line. around $11,000. So if we continue to pull back in the 1 to 4 candle correction phase, my buy the dip area would be the vicinity of 11,000. Well, what if the dip is already over? If the dip is already over, my interest in buying back in would be above this area, either above the highest close of this swing high, which took place at 11,537, or above the MRI candle swing high, which is around 11,570. Either way, I am not interested in doing so this candle. No matter what happens this candle, I am not interested in buying into a long trade. This begins tomorrow. As of tomorrow, the break of 11,000, let's say 550. The break of 11,550 gets me very, very interested in more upside to be bullish on the daily time frame. And if I am bullish on the daily time frame because tomorrow we are going above 11,550, that means we are breaking the purple line, and that means I am also bearish on a weekly scale. And that also means we are at a new all-time high, which, we are approaching a new swing monthly close. And that also makes me bearish on a monthly scale. So all my time frames line up with a daily price tomorrow of above 11,550. Now, I don't know if I will or won't do a video tomorrow. So what happens if tomorrow's candle only gets to a high of 11,450 instead of 550? Then I would drop the green line down to the top of the prior candle's high. And then I would become a bull at a lower point in time on Friday instead of Thursday. So I hope all of that made sense. Here's the short-term look at Bitcoin. Yeah, this is the current 4-hour chart. And when I was looking at this video, we were above 11,550, and we just dropped in the last hour. I can only assume that the S&P 500 dropped in the last hour. This is the daily chart. If we go to the, let's say, the 1-hour chart, yep, that's exactly what happened. We had the 10 a.m. reversal. Probably that's the 10 a.m. If I go to the 10-minute chart, probably had a 10 a.m. reversal. Yep, there it is. Haven't talked about the 10 a.m. reversal in ages. There it is. Those that trade the 10 a.m. reversal, because I probably taught it to some people, it doesn't get any better than that. As clean as can be. 10 a.m. Your high comes in. If I go to the 1-minute chart, when was the high? This morning at 9:57. 9:57 a.m. is your S&P 500 high. Now, look, I'm not making this shit up, guys. I haven't said the words 10 a.m. reversal in the stock market in a long time, but I was only off by 3 minutes on my view that the markets reverse at 10 a.m. more often than they don't at this point. I mean, putting a trading strategy on it is still not easy. Here's your 10-minute chart. My old trading strategy would have me in a short trade at the break of this candle's low or that candle's body. Either way, the market moved 18 points, almost 19 points in 30 minutes. By 10:30, now even if you miss the exit, this is still looking pretty damn bearish right now on the stock market, because the break of the prior swing low, even the body of the prior swing low, makes me bearish the market. So another potential big drop incoming here. So I would be looking for at least a drop of however big this candle is. This is let's say an 8-point swing. So I am now looking at an 8-point additional drop here. 8-point drop I'm looking at prior to the break of that high. Now, I would never set my stop loss that high. If I was short the stock market right now, my stop loss, with only 7 seconds to go in this 10-minute candle, my stop loss would now be that candle's high. Because if we go above that candle's high, I have no confidence in my short trade anymore. But this is, of course, the secondary short trade. The primary short trade was timing the reversal. Happened 2 candles after an MRI top, but that happened at market open, so it's irrelevant. But right now I am bearish the stock market here for the next, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes. Not really a day trader anymore. That time is long past. Our 10-minute candle just made a new swing low, so that only adds confidence to my short trade, obviously. But and if this candle closes lower, especially if this candle closes lower than the swing low for the trading day, my stop loss goes to break even, and it's impossible for me to lose money on this trade, considering I would have already made a bunch of money on this trade. So from the 10 a.m. reversal. Anyway, stock market is dropping as of 10 a.m. If I take Bitcoin and I go to the 10-minute chart, let's see if Bitcoin's been dropping since 10 a.m. When was the high? 940, but that was a swing high. Here's the highest close. Oh, look at that. 10-minute MRI top right there. Highest Bitcoin close, 10 a.m. So no one should be surprised that risk on assets are moving in tandem. I wasn't. We just broke in the support line of that MRI. I don't know how useful these 10-minute MRIs are, but I will say this, the 1 hour chart, I know I didn't do a video in the last 24 hours or 48 hours, I should say, but it was very interesting. And I posted it in my little Telegram group that the hourly MRI top came in 1 hour or 2 hours before the day rolled over. So here's your daily MRI top, and we were just off by 2 hours in lining the daily MRI top with the weekly MRI top. GBTC, the premium is back to 15. That's certainly on that's in the middle range. I'm not going to say it's in the high range. I think a premium of 25 is on the high range. A premium of under 10 is in the low range. And we got to as low as 6, 7. Perfect time to potentially buy up Bitcoin and GBTC with that low premium. And now the premium is back to 15. So we wait a little bit and see what happens. Bitcoin is still pulling back, especially if the stock market keeps pulling back. I think we just made a new swing low. That's the target. Doesn't mean you can't hold past the target if it keeps going, but that's the target. At the target, I would usually take a little bit of profit and set my stop loss over into break even. But that stop loss is going into break even the moment we cross below whatever that swing low is. 3507.6. Haven't done it yet. So there's still a possibility of this being a losing trade. Gold. So right here, when I did that video, I was actually pretty bullish on gold because of the break of having a full candle above the 1920 area. But yesterday's drop, took it back. But I had this little trend line support, and we went right back into it. So we are making this little triangle here. So there could, so nothing to panic yet. And right now, if I look at the downside of this little, okay, what happens here? Let's get this thing going. If I look at this little downside here, that's about 72 points. So we can raise that up. Let's say 70. And that still has a lot of potential. And if we get all the way up back to 2000, I mean, sky's the limit on gold. So I am still more bullish gold than bearish gold. because we have just made, another higher swing low. So nothing to panic yet. If I wasn't a bullish trade in gold and that trade was now losing me a couple of points, I'd stay with that bullish trade in gold. More bullish gold than bearish gold right now. That's, of course, the daily chart. Haven't looked at the weekly chart in a while. The weekly chart topped with our MRI, and we're still moving down here. And I don't have the details. We're also on a monthly top. So we had a daily top, monthly top. I mean, gold is still struggling for a little bit, but I think by end of year, probably in December, gold should probably start to rise again. But I am more bullish gold than bearish gold. The S&P isn't really being very cooperative right here. But this is still a bearish picture to me on the S&P. But that's just a short-term look. Let's look at the daily. Let's delete all this stuff. Don't need it anymore. I normally look at this chart as a daily chart. So on a daily chart, S&P topped with extension B. There are no more extensions. As you can see, there is nothing under these candles. All extensions have ended. Right. All of these extensions. Why isn't this giving me more extensions? Oh, I know why. So all of the extensions from this MRI top have been canceled. They were canceled once the price had fallen below the support line. So even though there was an extension A and there were multiple extension Bs, they all got canceled. But this extension B is from this MRI top back here. And this MRI top had completed, oh no, it still also has an extension C, which never completed. And extension C is only 7 candles in, surprisingly. No, I take that back. I take that back. The extension C has ended and the latest extension C has been canceled. So there are no more. There are no more extensions in this trend. So if anything, we've started a new trend. And to see where that new trend began, I need those stars. See where that shows up. Yep, there it is. So the moment this candle started trading above the prior candle, I got a bullish trend. But I also got a bullish trend back here. So this was one area of my bullish trend. And then there was another bullish trend right here. So we're in a bullish trend, guys. I'm still bullish the S&P 500 daily chart, even though we are slightly pulling back here. So I'm bearish on a 10-minute time frame. I am bullish daily, and I'm certainly going to be bullish weekly. There's no reason not to be bullish weekly. We're looking at a brand new all-time high close on a weekly scale in 2 days if the price doesn't move. Now let's go back to that 10-minute chart. I took off my stop loss and stuff, but I'm going to leave it here. Keep these videos short. I got a few questions I'll take a look at. Tone, will you look at Piton? I've never heard of Piton. And since I've never heard of it, I'm curious what that is. Whoa. Daily chart of Pluton Interactive. Looks like a recent IPO. So, wow. I have no idea what they do, but whatever they're doing really well. And I'm bullish here. Look, we are bullish on the daily. We are bullish on the weekly. We are still bullish on the monthly. We had an MRI top, which pulled us back 1 to 4 candles. It was just one. We completed 2 extensions and an MRI top, and look what happened. You got a new bullish trend, which that star indicates to me. Let me just check my star logic because there's plenty of it. And I'm bullish. It is a reversal candle, but it's probably too late to buy in. Look, the time to buy is when things break out. I know we're a little hindsight here, but I mean, the time to buy this stock is when it breaks its all-time high. Here, what a beautiful break of an all-time high from through a double top. That's the time to buy. And if you missed this buying opportunity, you had a chance to buy at the pullback in May of this year, along with COVID. But since then, the only other really good time to buy would have been the breakout of this consolidation. That's another good buying opportunity at 72. And then if you missed that buying opportunity, your next shot is the break of this line we call the breakout line in the MRI, because it's also the break of a prior swing high. And that took place on that green star. You could have got caught on this candle, but it takes place on this green star September 20th. And then maybe if you've already made a shit ton of money on this trade, you can go back in or here with another green star at 120, but I would not be buying this thing. It's an incredible stock, but this is not the time to buy. If anything, I would wait for it. If it keeps going higher and it makes it to, say, I don't know, 160 in the next 4 to 5 days, that could be a nice blow off top for a potential shorting opportunity, but it's very challenging to short strength. I mean, I wouldn't buy it, but I mean, all the buying opportunities to me were missed a long time ago. But clearly they're doing something well. If it pulls back to this area of 100, that could be a buy the dip situation. Also had a weekly top right here and just ignored it. But I never buy the candle following the MRI top. So I would never buy this candle. So we wait till next week. But even if it goes higher next week, I mean, this is parabolic. I don't chase. Not my thing. Weekly Dow Jones, if it doesn't break, but weekly Dow Jones is no different than the weekly S&P. So here's the weekly S&P, and I don't see how the Dow Jones is going to be any different. I just don't want to spend too much time on it. No, Piton cannot possibly have a hyperwave. Please review your hyperwave rules. It is actually impossible for Piton to be in a hyperwave, because in order for Piton to be in a hyperwave, it would have had to spend at least several years below this area here. And it didn't do that. It did not even spend 1 year below that area. So the very first wave, the very first rule of hyperwave is an asset has multiple years of consolidation below a certain level. And this thing consolidated from September until April. That is like 9 months. So no way. If it was a year and a half, I would consider it. And this is happening way too quickly. Hyperwaves take a lot longer to form. So no, this is definitely not a hyperwave. So the question is the same. I'll just use the S&P 500. If we do not break the all-time high soon, will it roll over? My answer is no. So it like over here, you can say that we may or may not have made a new all-time high barely, and then we rolled over. But that was a very short rollover. I don't believe this is how market tops. I thought this might be a bigger pullback, but it wasn't. This is a double top meant to be broken. I'm bullish here. Market tops. We haven't had a market top in a while. Here's another big rollover in the market. This is 2017 weekly chart. And we did make a slightly higher high here, and then we had the big financial crash. I don't see it. I don't think it's going to roll over. And if it rolls over, it rolls over. I don't think it has anything to do with the breaking the prior swing high. Look how we perfectly coincided with the weekly MRI top here for the last swing high. Textbook 1 to 4 candle correction. And we just started a whole new phase. We just started a whole new uptrend in the MRI. So I'm going to trust the MRI, and I'm going to expect, 4 or 5 more weeks of upside right into the election. I mean, the election is only 3 weeks away, and market being bullish is actually a huge indicator that Trump is in the lead to win. That's what the market's telling me. All right, one last, I'll pull up one last thing, and then we're going to call it a day. And then I'll glance at Bitcoin one more time, and then we'll call it a day. FPIG. No idea what this is. Oh, wait, I didn't want to change the S&P chart. Crap. Huh. Which S&P was it? Hope it was this one. Yeah. So FPIG, German stock, sure. Weekly chart, very bullish, very bullish. Same reasoning. If you did not buy the low, which I would not have, at least on a weekly scale, I love the breakout. Now, prior to this breakout, we had MRI showing you a bullish trend here. The moment you started breaking these candles, not at the top. This one here as well. And that's a clean breakout. So the weekly chart is bullish to me. It's had 2, 3. That was a double top, perfectly timed. Daily chart. Well, daily chart had extension B end and extension C end. So a little bit of a correction. Beautiful breakout right here with a green star as well above this consolidation for the last few days. I'm still bullish, but maybe it has a little bit more downside here. I'm generally bullish. All right, Tesla I can entertain, and then I have to call it a day. Let's see how Tesla's doing. MRI still has some room. We have about 4 or 5 candles to go to the upside here. 3 to 5 candles. Weekly is clean. Monthly is clean. Tesla is bullish to me. I don't see anything in Tesla that really worries me on a daily chart, weekly chart. I mean, it just broke brand new all-time high weekly close coming up. I'm bullish Tesla. What can I say? Earnings is coming, so I'd be careful. But at the chart's bullish, but I would never hold it through earnings. When you have a stock at an all-time high, way more of a chance of a disappointing earnings than. I know you guys want me to look at more stocks, but I'm gonna call it a day. We're gonna glance at the S&P. Whoa. Well, Tone was right. So now what? Well, now, if I missed my actual trade at 10 a.m. reversal to the downside, but I took the secondary trade of shorting below this area, which is where it was when we started this video. MRI even gave me a bearish trend here as well, now that the stars are turned on. And there it is. The target is met. I'm taking, some of my profit from that secondary trade, and I'm lowering that stop loss into break even. And considering futures are trading 24/7 and they're the most liquid asset there is, it's basically a trade impossible to lose money on at this point. And you've already taken some profit at some point. And did Bitcoin drop along with the S&P? It did. It sure did. So with a 10-minute Bitcoin chart, there it is. There's your big S&P 10-minute crash, and here's your Bitcoin 10-minute crash. So if anyone thinks that Bitcoin is leading the S&P, I guess that's possible, but it's not actually leading the S&P. It's just that it's a lot easier to move Bitcoin than to move the S&P. So yeah, they will move in tandem. I would watch the S&P, and if the S&P moved first, as a short-term day trader, scalper, certainly potential advantage in the market there. But I'm not surprised that we're crashing on this current 10 minutes as the S&P crashed on this current 10 minutes. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And I mean, there's a comment about Trump in there. Look, do I want Trump to win? The answer is yes. Of course I do. Because Trump is a capitalist and Biden is a socialist and a lifetime government employee versus Trump being a businessman. And I will always choose a businessman over a lifetime government employee. That's simple. Now, do I think it's good or bad for Americans in the world if Trump wins? I believe that it's better for the world and for America if Trump wins. However, if Trump wins, I can also envision a civil war in the US because it's the left, and especially the radical left, that tends to cause revolutions for the worse. And this would be, I feel, a revolution for the worse, like a socialist, communist kind of revolution going on. So would I vote Biden to avoid a potential communist revolution in the US, making US more socialist because of those Biden and his camp being in power? No, I would take my chances that with a Trump win, the communist revolution in the US will not come. That's basically the bet that I'm making because there will not be a revolution in the US if Biden wins. Because right now, the majority of the protests and the violence is happening by the left. It's not happening by the right. So if the left gets its way and gets its president, the chances of violence breaking out in the US is significantly lower because the left is causing the violence. Now, if the right wins, if the Republicans win, if the right wins, if Trump wins, chances of severe violence, civil unrest in the US greatly rise just because of that. So it's up to you who you vote for, but you guys know my stance on it. All right, I guess we did close off with politics. So there you go. All right. So we're gonna let it be. Market is still dropping, therefore Bitcoin is probably still dropping. Well, that's the 1 hour Bitcoin. That's the 10-minute Bitcoin. Should be my daily chart. And that is the daily chart. If anything, this should be a 10-minute chart. On the hourly scale, the break of the support line is bad, causing more downside. So as long as the stock market keeps dropping today, tomorrow, expect Bitcoin to keep pulling back. And that means that this 1 to 4 day correction could go down all the way to 11K for a nice buy the dip. All right, guys, I'm going to end it here. I'm going to stop the screen share. Thank you all for watching and see you all on the next one.